This might be a bit of a deep, maybe dark conversation, but I think there's something important about authenticity is that we have a voice and we speak whatever is coming up transparently and we don't try and disguise anything. So I'm kind of shaking. I'm almost in tears because on the other end of the phone, I have a boyfriend who's in such a deep depression that he just wants to end his life. And I didn't want to entertain the idea of talking about death. You know, if someone tells you that they're having those kind of thoughts, normally what we say is, "Sweetie, it's going to get better. I love you. I don't want you to leave. Keep strong. There's going to be sunshine one day, even if right now it feels like a complete disaster. One day it's going to feel better." Like that's typically what we say to someone in that situation. Or the other thing you can say is, "What do you need?" But when someone's at that stage where they're so hopeless that literally the only thing they're thinking is how to leave this life, it feels pretty shocking that there's nothing you can do to comfort that person. And that's the place I'm in right now. We're also separated, so we're living in different countries. So I can't even be there to give him a hug or inspire him to go for a walk or play some music or do anything to help uplift him. He's literally there on his own, and I'm literally here on my own. And I feel like my world has fallen apart. When we left the island of Gozo, we were super happy and we were super in love, and everything felt like possibilities. The decisions I've made in my life have been very much about following my highest excitement and just going wherever my curiosity leads me. And I've had so many amazing adventures because of living my life this way. I've just come across the most amazing people. I've ended up living on a Mediterranean island full of community. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've done the kind of adventures that a lot of people wait until they're retired to have, or they only get them for 3 weeks of the year. And it's just like a little magical interlude between their 9 to 5 job. But yesterday, I allowed my boyfriend to talk about death rather than shooing him away or shutting him up and telling him, just trying to console him. I decided to let him just have free range to speak about what he wanted to speak. And it shocked me to discover that when we were in Switzerland recently, we slept under a tree. And it was a very grounding experience. It was a beautiful evening. We were surrounded by the mountains of the Alps. But what I didn't know until the other day was that in the morning when I went to the car to greet our other friends, he took himself to a tree and was thinking about ending his life. Oh, this is such a dark subject, and I feel like it's probably something that's not even going to be allowed on YouTube, but I think it's important that we talk about what we're going through. And I have to say, when he was having this conversation about death, that he had some points. He was saying that, what is the point of being in survival mode? And for any of you who've always had it easy in life and you've never had a problem with surviving, maybe your parents gave you money, maybe you got a lucky break and you've just financially been secure the whole time, or you've just found a strategy that supported you in a really good financial way. For the rest of us, and this is who this video is for, surviving feels like an everyday issue. And I've just landed here in Brighton and considering living here, and the rent is just so high just to be able to afford to live, and it rains all the time. And whilst I'm trying to encourage my boyfriend to wait for the sunshine to come out, metaphorically, and just saying that you just don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what person you're going to meet tomorrow. You could meet someone tomorrow and it could completely change your life. But that's what I believe. That's what I live for in these really painful moments where I'm suddenly alone. I thought I was about to get married. I thought I was about to go on a new adventure with my partner. I didn't realize that he was going to slip into such a big existential crisis that he literally wants to get an escape route. I had no idea that was going to happen. I had no idea that I was going to end up alone. And now I feel so alone here, not being able to support him where he is. His grandma said that maybe I was the only one that can save him. And my fear is that even I can't save him. What if you're the last person that has hope to save someone and you realize that even you can't do that job? It is such a heavy responsibility, and it just feels really frightening right now. So one of the points he was making was that, you know, what's the point of just surviving? What's the point of just working a job just so you can pay rent and that's it? And then just finding things to do to distract yourself outside of it. He said, what if he's done all the things that he wanted to do in his life and he doesn't have anything else that he wants to live for right now? This is where I tell him that you just never know what's around the corner. You might suddenly get some inspiration. You might suddenly find what you want to do. But the more I listened to him, the more I realized that he had a point. Maybe we're taking up space by just surviving on this planet, because in order for us to survive, we use up resources to be here. And maybe people should be able to leave whenever they want and not just wait until their life is over. Maybe people should be able to choose a time when they can leave. And the more he spoke, the more I realized that from his perspective, he's completely speaking sanely and rationally, but it's just so painful. I don't know where you are at in your life, but what are you doing to keep you going? I don't know. I just find myself in a position right now where I'm just in survival mode, and it's not a place that I want to be in. I want to be thriving. And I know that, like him, I've got to get through this difficult period and just keep my head above the water. What do you do to keep your head above the water? You know how much I love to engage, and the communication here is so important to me. I love conversation. I love your comments. I hope you're following along, and I hope you have some thoughts of your own, and I would love to hear them.